let me begin with some photos from the air that I took on my recent trip to Europe, because some of them are space related, actually, and I thought that it would be pretty cool to take a look. So this here is a view from the left side of our plane as we departed Newark Airport outside New York City. A great view of the city down below. Either Newark or part of New York City, I'm not sure. I haven't matched up the lights and the landforms with an actual location, so I'm not sure exactly where we're looking at. But it was a beautiful view until the clouds kind of got in the way, and then we were, of course, over the water for many hours. But unfortunately, this photo was taken with my phone, not with my big camera, because the camera was stowed in the overhead compartment, and it would have been, well, it would have been like illegal for me to get up and retrieve it at that time. There wasn't really room for it in the seat. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Here we go. So this is a view some hours later of the same flight, taken out the window looking toward the north at the approaching sunrise to the east there, with the Big Dipper in prominent view above the wing. Now, I didn't get a wing seat. My 14-year-old was in, my 15-year-old was in the seat by the window, so I was kind of leaning over them as they were trying to sleep and taking pictures with my phone. But so if you can't see it, let me zoom in here to the Big Dipper, which really stands out like no other stars do here in the Northern Hemisphere. But I didn't actually see the Big Dipper with my own eyes at first. I just pointed the camera out the window toward the sunrise and snapped the shot. But then when I looked at it on my phone, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the Big Dipper right in the center of the frame. So I took a few more pictures and captured this. It's a beautiful photo, but again, unfortunately, it was just taken with my phone rather than the much higher quality Nikon Z7 II mirrorless full-frame camera that I got just prior to going on this trip. And for comparison, this is a picture taken just a couple of minutes later with my camera. Now, this, I don't even remember the resolution of this camera, but it's like 8,800 pixels wide. Like if I zoom in at 100%, these are just massive photos with incredible detail. Unfortunately, because we were racing toward the sunrise at a few hundred miles per hour, the sky had lightened by the time I got my camera down from the overhead compartment, and the Big Dipper was no longer visible. Like we can look for it, but it's funny how stars and planets do that. Once the sky is light enough, they just disappear. You know, they just, I mean, like at dusk, they wink into existence, and then at dawn, they wink out of existence, and you just can't see them. So, in any case, I wanted to show you those for comparison. Now, there was another, let me find it here. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, I posted a time-lapse video of our flight back from Europe, from Frankfurt to Washington, D.C. And because I had put my GoPro up in the window and got a time-lapse of the flight back. Now, as you can see here, there is a rainbow pretty clearly visible. The sun was, like from the camera's perspective, the sun was directly behind the camera on the other side of the plane, because we were flying out in the sort of the mid-morning. And so my caption there in the video, which you may not be able to see if it's too small, said a circular rainbow or glory appeared in the clouds. Well, this is not a glory, and I can tell you why that is in a moment. This is a circular rainbow. This is a rainbow seen from above. Of course, all rainbows appear opposite. Well, that's sort of a loaded statement, but I should say this type of rainbow appears opposite the sun and extends for about 84 degrees of angle of your viewing. So it's a large circle. Now, I wanted to show you that clip because it wasn't actually until I was processing photos just a couple of days ago and tweaking the exposure settings or the develop settings that I accidentally discovered that I had actually also photographed a glory. Now, it's also called a pilot's glory or other forms of glory, but a glory is a very different type of optical effect, and I'll show you that in this picture that I tweaked the levels for from my my phone camera. Now, obviously, the contrast, like what I did was in Adobe Lightroom, I cranked the dehaze feature or aspect of the photo, and what that did was it tried to remove, well, the haze from the photo. One of the results of that was that it revealed what I hadn't even seen previously, which was this beautiful little rainbow bullseye, which is in fact a glory. Now, the physical process, the sort of the physics behind the formation of a glory, which is like a rainbow but with a much smaller diameter. Like this is just a small circle. The physical process that produces this effect is different than that which produces the regular large rainbow that you're used to seeing. And it's more complicated. It's not simply refraction of the wavelengths of light. It's a more complicated process that I probably wouldn't be able to explain. But if you search up what is a glory, or if you look it up on Wikipedia, I'm sure there's some technical information there. But yeah, sure enough, there's a little glory right below us. And again, like the big rainbow, the glory appears opposite the sun, which means excuse me. Which means that if the clouds were closer, you would see the plane's shadow directly in the middle of the glory, which actually also appears if you're, like, let's say, climbing a mountain and you reach the peak of the mountain and the sun is low on the horizon behind you and you have clouds in front of you. The sun can cast your shadow on the clouds and form a glory around you. It looks like a halo. Which is also called a Brocken specter when it appears that way. But it's really cool effect that you can only see in a pretty limited set of circumstances. But I wanted to share that with you because I think it's really cool.